Ladies and gentlemen, just 3 weeks ago, Raila Odinga flew with William Ruto to Uganda. And in photos that were widely shared by William Ruto's social media handlers, there were some 3 takeaways from Uganda meeting. Number 1 was that William Ruto and Museveni had reached an oil diplomacy deal. And the demand by Uganda for Uganda's National Oil Corporation to be registered in Kenya as an importer of oil was to be okayed. And even some money was paid. And in return, there was also a decision by Uganda to support Raila Odinga's bid to become the African Union Commission chairperson. In fact, Museveni was agreed to be the person to front the name of Raila Odinga when that time will come in April. But the emerging report from it is not very pleasing, because analysts saw, and I think I analyzed it here, that the principal reason why Kenya was even pushing a good diplomacy with the East African nation, the landlocked country sitting west of Kenya, is because they were committed to support Raila Odinga's AUC chairmanship bid by consolidating the East African community. Because even the AUC agreed that it is Raila Odinga's turn for it is East African turn. It is East Africa turn to produce the new chairperson of the African Union Commission. But the news coming from Uganda is not that much pleasing, because last week there was another meeting of 3 presidents, of 2 presidents, that is Samia Suluhu and Museveni. Remember, what happened is, while Kenya had not okayed that deal, Uganda even presented a court in the East African Court of Justice complaining of that move, for that Court of Justice to compel Kenya, or rather to mediate on that issue. But as Kenya was still dragging, Ruto said there was a report that Ruto had agreed for that offer, for that request by Uganda to be given, for the country to cede for that request, and by them withdrawing that case. But as they were still dilly-dallying, I'm telling you, Samia Suluhu has cut a deal. And I want to explain it this way. There is the Northern Corridor and the Central Corridor. The Northern Corridor is the port of Mombasa that is used to transport oil from Mombasa to Uganda and other African countries. Then there is the Central Corridor, which is the port of Dar es Salaam, if I'm not wrong. So that is the Central Corridor. So Uganda had 2 options. While the Kenyan route is shorter and economically viable, even in terms of distance and infrastructure, the Tanzanian route was proving to be long and economically uncomfortable for that nation, from Museveni. However, you know what Tanzania has done? Samia Suluhu has moved very fast and did some 4 things. Number 1, she has already registered that UNOC, Ugandan National Oil Corporation, in Tanzania as oil marketing company to import oil. So what Uganda was requesting Kenya, they've moved forward and they have already given them, they've already registered them. Number 1. Number 2, they've also given them a port in Dodoma where they can have oil reserve. Kenya did not have that offer. Number 3, they've also waived some taxes and reduced some of regularization demands and paperwork that is needed for that to happen. And Samia Suluhu is showing intent that she wants to move very fast to actualize and make sure that it will be economically sensible for Uganda to use the Tanzania route. Ladies and gentlemen, I know this can be seen, number one, as an economic loss to the country. Because when Uganda opts to use the Tanzanian route, then the optimization of our railway, of our pipeline here will go down, because that is part of that's part of the import that goes through that. Number two, you know, at the end of the day, Kenyans get some job. When Port of Mombasa is very active, inapokea the oil that is going to Uganda, the truth of the matter here is that there are some job opportunities for Kenyans there. Apart from that, the tax that Kenya receives, we've also missed on it. So, even as we speak now, the Uganda is contemplating going Tanzania way fully. You know, even initially when they were using Kenya 80%, then 20% through Tanzania. But of course, some other businesses. Now, when it will be economically viable for Uganda to use the Tanzanian route, there are two implications. The oil diplomacy deal between William Ruto and Museveni is dead. And we've killed it because of our own ego and appetite. Because when we got to G&G, we got into G&G using Ugandan market in mind. But they seem to have gotten their way and they're heading to Tanzania. So, number two, we are also losing on that our new good friendship with Uganda, and especially the East African community we are banking on to ensure that we get it. That begs the question that most of us have been asking. Contrary to much hyped campaign that allegedly Musalia Mudavadi is leading to campaign for Raila Odinga, do you think Kenya Kwanza is truly campaigning to deliver that seat to Raila Odinga? And if Raila will insist on depending on the goodwill of Kenya Kwanza, will he stand the chance to have a very good contest in the race to AUC chairmanship? I want to delve more into that and want to explain this fully. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our videos. I want to also say thank you very much for supporting our videos, our analysis, those who share our videos in social media pages, and also those who support our charity programs. We don't take it for granted. I'm so grateful that we've impacted lives. I'm working on a documentary just to show those our new subscribers what we've done. And that is why we say that in a month we shall be picking one CSR activity and we support the community. Now, Raila's bid banking on the region support is a big gamble. Contrary to this, I will then I think Raila Odinga must look for alternative route to get the East African vote. Banking on William Ruto to consolidate that vote. The East African community, you know, recently there was withdrawal. Can you withdraw Mathuki, who was Secretary General of the East African Community and was taken ambassador to Russia. People raised controversy. What exactly was the motive behind that, and what will be the resultant effect? Raila bid banking on that, on regions to support his bid, on East African region to support his bid through William Ruto is a big gamble. And this is a clear warning. You should look for Uhuru Kenyatta. And just talking about that, by the way, where is Raila Odinga? Where is Raila? Where is Raila? I will answer to that. Kenya policy of non-interference is a big threat. Much as we say, you know, Uganda is heading to election in 2026, I've seen Sebo, Museveni has picked his son as the new military chief in a very controversial, it's a very controversial debate currently going on. Kenya is normally the good brother. Is Uganda sitting pretty comfortable with Kenya? Or there is something beyond the oil diplomacy? The G2G that we banked on is emerging as a poison chalice. We banked on G2G and probably we overrated G2G. But in real sense, this is not something that's gonna take us somewhere, because this is why our hands are tied. We believe on G2G, we want it to work, but not so much is coming out of it. And I think Ruto is looking at reduced international prices, and I think we are not taking so much advantage on that to seal deal with our neighbors, because at the end of the day, we can get some good market there. I want to explain why Raila Odinga has taken a backseat. Where is Raila? Thank you.